As I said, I want to start by setting up the player health. But the very first thing, of course, is that I create a new view instance. I can do this because in my index.html file up here, I'm importing view from a CDN. So here with this view instance, I now want to control the element with the ID of app. This is this div wrapping my whole app so that we can use this as a template. And then I need to store some data in this view instance. For example, the player health. I'm going to name it player health, and this should be 100 initially. And the same is true for the monster health, let's say. Should also be 100. So this is the basic data I'm managing for now. One thing we will probably also need, since we can click start a new game, is to track if a new game or if a game is running or not. So I will add game is running here true and set it to false initially, so that initially we don't have a running game, so that by checking this property here we can see if we should display the start a new game button or our action buttons like attack and heal. Well, with this data in place, we can actually work on our template a little more and start displaying the health, let's say. The easiest thing is that inside of our health bars here, we simply output the player health here, and in the monster area, we also output the monster health. If I save this and reload this application, we should now see the numbers inside our health bars. That is great. But I also want to adjust the width of that health bar, of the inner health bar, of this green area here. Now to adjust this, you see that the health bar generally has this green background here. It is nested in this outer health bar class here. And if we have a look at the CSS style, we see that initially it has a width of 80%, that we have set up a transition so that it smoothly moves when we change the width. And now we want to change that width. We want to change that width to our actual health, which is 100 at the beginning as we just set it up. For that, we clearly can use the style helper Vue.js offers us. So I'm going to restructure this a bit so that it's easier to read. And here I want to bind to the style property. As explained in the last lectures, it's no issue that we have style here and now bind to it. Behind the scenes, Vue.js will merge this together. So here I'm binding to style and I pass a JavaScript object here to describe the style I want to attach. I want to change the width like this, and we don't have to enclose it in single quotation marks to be precise. And I want to set the value depending on the player health here. And now, how should we use that? If I set it to 100 like this would be treated as pixels. But I want to set it to percentages. So I will add percentage here. This will make sure, should be in single quotes though, that the width of this div here will be 100%, and 100% of what? Of its view container, so of the outer div. And the outer div will be this health bar here. So if we save this and reload now, we see now it's the full width of that because we set it to 100% initially instead of 80%, which we had otherwise. Side note, correctly you might say, but the outer div also has the CSS class health bar, and it does, and health bar is set to 80% width. So why is it now 100% just when we change the inner one? You have to keep in mind the outer div, the gray health bar we saw before, was 80% of the size of the div holding that health bar, which is this column here. But now the inner health bar makes up 100% of the outer one. Therefore, even though the outer one doesn't completely fill the width of its holding element, this div, the inner one now makes up the full width of the health bar, and that is what we need. So this is how we set this up. Now with that, I can simply copy that to my monster health bar down here, where I also have the styles just wrapped together by my IDE here. And here, of course, I want to use the monster health and not the player health. With that, we're outputting the health and we're adjusting the health bars. The next step is to be able to actually start a new game and, well, start setting up these actions so that we can do more than just view our health and this non-working application.